Hello, everyone. This is Storm, coach of the Baltimore Punches, back for our Week 2 match. We are against the Wiltshire Wartortles. I've gone ahead and put their full roster, their Week 2 roster, up on the screen on the right. And the team I will be bringing over here is on the left. So, my Wiltshire Wartortles, coached by Phil, or Notorious Pip, they are a very, very, very dangerous team, a lot of threats, a lot of things I had to prep for. But I'm very confident going into this week because I feel like nothing that my opponent brings has a chance to just flat out win against me. It's more or less a combination of threats. So, with that being said, I'll break down my team real quick, and then after this, the match will have started. So first off, I bring, of course, my trusty Dragapult, the star, and the star of the show. And before I talk about the set, a big reason why I went with this set is because Ghost Spam is not very good into my opponent's team. He has the Meowscarada, he has the Ursaluna Blood Moon, he has Terra Dark on I think two of his Terra captains. So he has Pokemon that eat Ghost type moves very well. It's very hard to like spam Shadow Ball or Hex. So I'm gonna go for a physical based Dragapult here, as you can see with Dragon Fang and Infiltrator, just to get past perhaps any screens or anything that my opponent has set up. My opponent doesn't have like an intimidator or something like that I'm scared of that can intimidate my Dragapult. Also doesn't have sticky webs, so I'm not scared of those sort of things. So I didn't go with clear body. So I'm going for the infiltrator just for it. And Dragon Darts, Dragon Fangs does really well into my opponent. He really only has the Wheezing Galar and a potential Clefairy, which I don't think he'll bring. And the Ursaluna Blood Moon can eat some hits as well because it's very bulky. But it does extremely well into my team. We have substitute to dodge sucker punches from Meowscarada, as well as any form of hazard status that my opponent will try to inflict into me. So this is our big piece. This is our sweeper, our cleaner. That's really important for our team. Next up, the Empress, our Primarina choice specs. And a big reason for this set right here is because my opponent does not have a lot of things that can switch into this Primarina very well. Fairy coverage is really good into my opponent, basically. He pretty much has a Heatran to stop that. Just about everything else is either neutral or weak to Fairy. I was losing Galar as well. But and on top of that, most of the things that want to take a Fairy move are weak to water or don't take water moves very well. So I feel like that dual coverage is really good. Hits his opponent very hard. We're running enough speed here to outspeed modest max speed Ursaluna Blood Moon with a little defense. So that way we have a little bit of an easier matchup into Palafin. Also, forget to mention my Dragapult is just faster than max speed Meowscarada, so it is faster than everything on my opponent's team, including a potential Scarfer at +1. Next up, we have the Hermit, which is our Earthworm, coming off the bench. Our first Pokemon, I guess, first time this season we have something coming off the bench. Max special defense, because this thing is really crucial for dealing with both Kyurem and Ursaluna Blood Moon, as well as sponging maybe something from a potential Thundurus Therian. Uh, Leftovers so it can have the sustainability. Like I said, that Earth Eater is a big reason why, because Kyurem can only really deal a lot of damage to a Earthworm if it's packing Focus Blast. So he has to be teched out with the Focus Blast. Obviously, Ursaluna Blood Moon's one of its stabs is immune, the other one of its stabs is resistant, although it does hit very hard. But Iron Defense Body Press, both of those threats that I just mentioned to weak to body press, so that's very good for us. We also are bringing spikes here because my opponent's team does not like hazards, and this only really best way of hazard removal is going to be defog on the Weezing. And we have protect here. This is to help deal with the Blood Moon. We can protect on the turn that it has Blood Moon because you cannot use Blood Moon multiple times in a row. So we can protect on the turn that it uses Blood Moon and try to help stall out the Blood Moon turns. Next up is High Priestess, our Yuxi. Here with another utility set, the Goat Yuxi. Colbur Berry with Levitate. The Levitate ability really helps me deal also, once again, with the Ursaluna Blood Moon. As you can tell, I'm prepping a little bit for this Blood Moon. It's a very dangerous Pokemon. But we have the knockoff here just so we have that utility. We have Rocks, we have Thunder Wave, and we have Encore, of course, to stop his opponent's potential setup moves or just to lock my opponent into favorable moves for me to switch ground and position myself a little bit better. We are faster than, I believe, Modest Heatran with special defense investment to eat those special hits. Also, with the Colbur Berry, the reason we're running this is because I'm very scared of Hitmonlee. He has a Terra Dark Hitmonlee that absolutely can tear through my team. We are able to live a +2 Terra Dark knockoff from after Stealth Rock, and basically be able to Thunder Wave it after that. So that's a very important member of our team. Going to be putting in some overtime, I have no doubt. Next up is Justice, our Zapdos. Here it has Rocky Helmet and Static, and that is to punish the physical attackers on my opponent's team. Hitmonlee, Meowscarada, and the Palafin as well. Just chip them down, give them a chance to be paralyzed. It's too crucial of a member because of how many powerful you know, physical attackers my opponent has. Volt Switch to give us some momentum as well as hit things like Palafin. Hurricane as a secondary stab for Meowscarada and potential Slowking Galar or some of the Blood moves. I want to try to switch in. Switch into my attacks. Thunder Wave, of course, to spread paralysis. We do love that paralysis. It works so well for our team. Stops all these fast sweepers. And we have Roost to keep ourselves healthy. This spread right here in particular maximizes our physical bolt, but allows us to outspeed a paralyzed Adamant Nature Hitmonlee. So, basically, if we do get paralysis on Hitmonlee, we can kind of stall it out by just recovering and also really good for Meowscarada, non-Scarf Meowscarada. This allows us to, if we paralyze it, we can basically just keep roosting up and don't have to worry about being taking super effective damage from a potential triple axle. Next up is Wheel of Fortune, our Iron Treads. We are Booster Energy. And this is really just so we can come in and be faster than something like Scarf Curum, Meowscarada, or potentially Scarf Palafin as well. We are, of course, EV to speed creep a Palafin. We are running special offensive Iron Treads, though, with the Steel Beam. Big reason for this is that Weezing Galar. It is going to be the thing that's going to stand in the way of Dragapult the most. Of course, Earth Power, good secondary stabs that also allows us to not take the recoil from Steel Beam. Volt Switch for momentum also hits Palafin hard because, like I said, we are faster than it. And Rapid Spin to clear hazards. I did bring hazard removal on my team this week, mainly because of potential toxic spikes. Most of the other hazards I'm not too worried about, and my opponent has to rely heavily on Defog to clear hazards. So I'm not too worried about that. But if my opponent does decide to set toxic spikes and I need to clear them off, especially mainly for Dragapult and Primarina, I need the Rapid Spin to clear them. Also, getting the speed boost from Rapid Spin when my Booster Energy is not working, or my Booster Energy has been expended later in the match is also very huge. So with that being said, let's get into the match right after this. Alright, as you can see, we are in our match, and very surprising, my opponent did not bring three things that I was prepping heavily for, that being the Hitmonlee, the Curum, and the Ursaluna Blood Moon. So some of my prep has gone out of the window here, but I do like what I have brought into my opponent's team. Obviously, the Archulodon, that is something that Orthworm can handle. The Thunderous Incarnate was something I'm a little surprised by, but I'm not extremely worried about it. Obviously, Prankster, Taunt can be very annoying. I believe he might have brought this just for the Uxie. But we do see the Palafin and we do see the Meowscarada here. So anyways, let's get this started. I think without having to worry about the Hitmonlee, I'm pretty free to lead my High Priestess here. We'll see what he leads. He does lead the Palafin. Potential ban from this is scary, but I feel like I'm free here to click a Thunder Wave. We'll see what he goes for. Obviously, it's in its base form. So if he does try to stay in and attack, more than likely he'll just flip turn out. But if he does try to stay in and attack, I get a free Thunder Wave. Actually, let me get up my rocks here. He's more than likely going to flip turn here, so I'm gonna use this chance to get up my rocks. I didn't want to Thunder Wave into the Thunderous switching in. Also, I apologize. I did realize I incorrectly listed which Thunderous form he has on the roster sheet. He does have Incarnate. Therian is owned by House of Mouse. So if he reads a potential Thunder Wave here, that's good for him. If not, I just get up my rocks. Good, going into Meowscarada, getting that paralyzed would be very nice. Goes into Thunderous. That's perfectly fine. And actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna knock this off real quick, just in case it has boots, and also covers maybe a few voltages out into something else. I can knock it off. He could try to nasty plot setup. I would not like that very much. Although I'm not extremely scared of it. We do see a Dark Pulse consumes my Cobra Berry. That's completely fine. Knock him off. It does reveal that he is Boots. That's perfectly fine. I don't deal with this Pokemon very well. I've come to realize that. Um, he reveals a Dark Pulse, more than likely for something like Dragapult. Um, he could very well Dark Pulse again. We're just going to go into my Zapdos here. Uh, he U-turns. That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. Gets the Rocky Helmet chip. That's great. It's a great play for me. Obviously, giving him momentum isn't great, but there's nothing I can do to stop that U-turn. I could have went into, I think maybe hindsight going into my Iron Shards would have been better. I actually kind of want to calc to see what kind of damage he goes into Heatran. Uh, I don't know what he wants to do with this Heatran. Maybe get up his own rocks. So I think I Volt Switch here, and I get in my Empress. He Heat Waves. I'm a little surprised by that play. I guess may have been either trying to get damage off or maybe read a potential Wheel of Fortune. That's completely fine. I think I'm just going to click Hydro Pump here. If he could try to stay in and read the potential fairy move. If he does that, that's good for me. Obviously, if Hydro Pump lands. This Thunder Hysteria has really got me all out of whack. But I do want to go for a water move because Palafin and Meowscarada are going to take are going to take a decent amount of chip switching into that Stealth Rock, and hitting the water move will be really nice. Archolodon does resist it, but it also does not have very good special defense, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm trying to find the way. Once I weakened his team enough, oh my god, that's very unfortunate. He goes for the flash cannon. That's really not good for us at all. I need Empress to sponge hits, and that's a very unfortunate miss for me. Uh, it does show that his Heatran is very slow because he was slower than my Primarina. Primarina going down here is not the end of the world for my team. I think I have the other resources left to deal with most of his mons, especially because I don't have to worry about the Ursaluna Blood Moon and the Curum, two mons that Primarina kind of helps me deal with. Obviously, just going for the Surf there, going on the safe play would have been nice. It's very unfortunate. He does go into the Duraludon here, and we do hit, and we one-shot it. Oh, that's what I'm talking. This is a goated mon. I love Primarina. I actually love Primarina. When it came up in my draft, I wish Primarina was a little more physically bulky, but when it came up in my draft, I knew it was perfect for the things I had drafted so far. I passed up Overpond Wellspring to grab it, funnily enough, because I was looking for something that could help deal with water types, potentially physically offensive water types, something like Urshifu from Rapid Strike. And Primarina obviously doesn't have the greatest physical bulk, but still phenomenal defensive typing and walls a lot of Pokemon, specifically a lot of Pokemon that have been drafted. So, also specs Beneficto. All right, we do see the Meowscarada here, and uh, I feel like I'm just going to go into my Zapdos. Even if he triples Axel, that's fine because we get a huge amount of chip and we get a decent chance to paralyze it. So I feel very comfortable going into Zapdos, even if he tries to read it with the triple Axel. Really wish I didn't miss earlier, but we'll get rid of the Duraludon. Not that Duraludon is a super worrisome Pokemon for me, but it is something that can. It's just it's another Pokemon down, and it's something I wasn't planned for, so it's something I don't have a good script or game plan to deal with. We do see a play rough here. Uh, Reveals, that does not look like band damage. I'm going to roost here. If he tries to triple axle me, that's perfectly fine. Like I said, I get the chip I need. I don't know what the play rough was reading. I guess he was trying to read a potential grass type prediction and go into his Dragon Ball. But we're just going to roost here to stay healthy. Um, this is perfectly fine. He goes into the wheezing. What it has. He does reveal that he is Black Sludge. I'm actually going to Hurricane in front of this thing. He could, uh, he could Toxic. He wants the Defog. I know Defog is sort of his priority right now. I kind of want to Hurricane and then Volt Switch, but I don't want to give him a free Defog either. We're just going to Volt Switch. We're going to Volt Switch. We're going to go into Wheel of Fortune. If he defogs, he toxics. That's the all right. Yes, that is a phenomenal play for us. Uh, it does appear that his wheezing, right? There was no neutralizing gas, so this wheezing is in fact going to be levitate. I kind of want to volt switch here. I don't want to reveal the steel beam just yet. So I'm going to click Volt Switch here. If he stays in, that's obviously the worst play for me. But if he does stay in, I might wind up going out into. He does stay in. That's perfectly fine. That's chip. I can wind up. I can actually go out into High Priestess here. I think and encore him in. Man, I wish I would have still been there. Getting rid of this wheezing would have been great. But I feel like it was too early to reveal the tech. I'm just gonna go out into High Priestess here. Uh, he does defog. That's perfectly fine. And I kind of want to encore him into the defog. So I can go out. If I do that, I think I can go out into Primarina pretty safely. No, goes Meowscarado. That's perfectly fine. We're just going to go right back into Zapdos. I could have gotten up rocks there. That would have been a great play, getting up rocks in the turn he switched out. But I wanted to encore just in case he wanted to try and stay in and toxic this thing because obviously it's very bulky. And even though it has revealed that it doesn't have leftovers, it's going to be able to eat a couple hits down the line. So limiting this thing's HP is very valuable for him. So that's two plays on my half that I should have. I wasn't 100% certain about. We'll try to see if this thing has triple axle. It reveals the knockoff here. And we get the paralysis. That's huge. That's huge. We're going to roost up. This Meowscarada being paralyzed is great. I'm trying to think of this thing as band or scarf. Actually, I'm going to let me pull up the damage count right here. Sorry about this. You guys will see the damage count, but let's see. I'll load up my Zapdos set that I have. I do have it pulled up and import my teams. Custom set. Select stats. We'll go into Meowscarada choice item. So, no, it does not appear this thing is banded. That would have done a lot more to me if it was banded. So, no, this thing is not banded. I'll go ahead, position right here, get in Primarina. Probably should have Volt Switched there, but I don't mind getting in Primarina because I can get one last big hit off on something. It's perfectly fine. I love this. I love getting rid of the Thunderous. It's probably going to force him to go back out into Meowscarada. I could switch back into Zapdos. Goes into Palafin Hero. I imagine we'll see a flip turn here. I'm actually going to stay in because if this is banded and goes for a big attack like Wave Crash, that's perfectly fine. I don't know if it's Scarf or not. I'm going to go into Dragapult here, and I'm going to sub. Right, go Dragon Dance. Let me. Trying to think. I feel like I sub here. This might be too early call on the. Okay, so he does reveal that he is Scarf. That's very unfortunate for us. Um, but I'm going to Dragon Dance here. That's very unfortunate for us. I'm not too worried now. We have limited his team a lot. The rest of my team should be able to deal with his team one on one. This is perfectly fine because I can get my Dragon Dance here. And I'm going to Psychic Fangs. Oh, okay, he stayed in. That's perfectly fine. I don't mind that really because basically I can go into the Earthworm here and I can get up a layer of spikes. So, oof, I miss playing a little bit. This is how you lose games. Don't get me wrong. This is how you lose games. Um, right here goes for that. That's fine. I don't mind taking this much damage on my team because, like I said, I'm very confident what the rest of my team can do. Goes out into the Heatran. Getting I'm gonna protect once. Heat waves. That's perfectly fine. Get as much healing as I can off on this, and I'm going to go into my High Priestess. Bit of a misplay there. I 100% thought he would predict the dragon move. Um, And I also did not expect Scarf Wave Crash to do that much. We're going to go out to Yuxi here, and we're going to knock off this Heatran. Reveals that it is Assault Vest. It's perfectly fine by me. Uh, I can go into this. I can Earth Tower once. If he switches, that's fine. I think I Steel Beam here. This match has gotten very close. I want to see if he reads this. He doesn't. That's great. Ugh. It's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. We keep the spike up to keep chipping down the Heatran. Um, get the Steel Beam off to kill the Weezing. I really wish I would have made some of the plays I was iffy about. I really wish I would have made them. I need to see. Let me look up this Dragapult count because that Psychic Fangs may have been very unnecessary. Let me look up this count real quick on Dragapult custom set. Do uh, we'll just do. I kind of just look up a standard Weezing. I don't know what his build is because oh, this set still has Phantom Force. Whatever. I'm gonna Volt Switch here and basically just go out into good old Hermie. U turns. That's fine. Uh, goes out into his Heatran. Obviously, this thing is Assault Vest. There's nothing you can go for. I'll just protect uh, on his Heat Wave here. Heat Wave will kill me if it hits. So I feel like at the point my play right now is Wheel of Fortune just wins like 100% to his team. Uh, it just clicks Earth Power twice, I think, and wins. So I think I'm just going to sack right here and hit the body press. He does kill Hermit the Earthworm, and at this point, I think Earth Power just cleans up, really and truthfully. Um, Earth Power a few times. I did forget to post the link to this game. Um, Steel Beam will kill. It'll also kill me. Earth Power might not kill. And I don't know if there's a move that he can go for. Earth Power does kill. GG. We didn't post the game in the server once again. I'm very sorry. If my coach is watching this, I wanted to do it, but I had a very hectic time setting up my recording because uh, this won't be shown in the video because I'm going to edit it out. I had to double check to make sure he had the right Thunderous form because it was mislabeled on the roster. And I was like, okay, either the roster is wrong or Phil bought the wrong Thunderous form. So basically, I had to go back and check that. Either way, we get out with another 2-0. I keep wanting to make my differential better. But unfortunately, I did make a misplay there. I should have just straight up killed the Palafin. That was 100% the play. I'm very surprised Scarf Wave Crash did that much to me. But Either way, we get out with the W. That's what's most important. 2-0 we are. And I will see you when I post my watch through. Later. See y'all around.